Hi guys, welcome to the beginning of our new homebrew tutorial series. But before we start, I hope it's alright that you guys can subscribe and support the channel. It really does help motivate me to keep making tutorials on videos relating to game dev and homebrew game development for the PSP and the PS Vita. And in turn, you supporting me does help me put more effort into these videos and does keep it in the long run. So yeah. Right, so to kick things off, this video is basically about simply setting up your environment for developing. There are multiple game engines and frameworks for the PSP and the PS Vita to develop homebrew games overall. So because of these multiple methods to develop all these games, it's basically one of the main key factors on why developing for the portable PlayStation systems are very, very popular nowadays. So PSP has its own game library. I mean, as you can tell, it's SDL and a number of Lua frameworks and interpreters, as well as GameMaker 8.1 and Godot 2. It has its own player. So Godot 2 has its own runner engine on the PSP, so we can actually play 2D and 3D games on the 64 megabyte PSP. So that's actually really impressive. So the Vita has Unity, but it's iffy regarding the whole piracy structure, making homebrew games on it if you don't have the proper licensing. There's GameMaker 1.4, GameMaker 2, just nice GameMaker basically. Godot 3.5, not 4 sadly, but 3.5 is thankfully supported, so any games made or any frameworks made in Godot can run on the PS Vita, given the specs and overall functionality regarding the whole system. Because you don't exactly expect to run 4K 60 FPS on it. We have .NET, so C# is also able. We have Mono. We have a number of Lua interpreters. We have really good ones such as Lua Player Plus and One Lua. In fact, that's actually what we're going to use today. In a way, well, I'll describe that later. We also have the standard game libraries. We have SDL, Box2D, Raylib. Those are all supported with in the PS Vita. So for us right now, we're trying to keep this super simple. We'll be using Lua. Specifically One Lua, the One Lua interpreter, but with Luke ZGD's Love2D wrapper. So as you know, Love2D is a really popular framework, right? So it's a really good starting point for trying it out on the PSP. But the thing with the Love2D wrapper made by Luke ZGT is that not every single function is supported. So some simple ones, some simple graphic library, some simple functionality. So a couple of components aren't supported at all. So we're going to have to minimize our scope, but it's actually a really good thing for starters. So we don't want to get the scope too large. Essentially, basically we can use some aspects of the Love2D graphics framework instead of the built-in One Lua interpreter for a much more easier time in developing games. So because Luke ZGD's Love2D wrapper only has a couple of Love2D frameworks and functionalities, we can essentially keep the scale and documentation and all small so that we can focus on teaching and developing great games without going too overboard on the types of functionalities we'll be using and the types of the scope large, essentially. So we can just keep it small while still teaching good and all the basic aspects of homebrewing on the PSP. We'll start off with PPSSPP. This is basically the PSP emulator for Windows or whatever platform you really want to use. Really, you can add it everywhere. There's even one on iOS and Android. Everyone knows that. There's one recently made for iOS, so that's pretty cool. So the reason why we have PPSSPP is to test our code to make before we just directly add it onto our direct console. We might as well just test it here to make sure everything is running fine. So basically our running environment. Just click it and you execute it and you should get the PPSSPP. I've already installed it, so... Oh, I haven't. Oh, never mind. I might as well run it here then. Okay. Alright, password. Let it run, let it download. Let it download. And that's it. It's pretty quick, right? You have a PSP emulator right here and there. This is going to be used to run your game to test it out. Next is you need a very good. Oh, where's my mouse clicker? There we go. So we need a very good notepad editor. Well, actually, any notepad editor is fine. You can use Visual Studio Code. You can use Atom. I personally prefer Notepad++, so just go there, download. Oh, that's not good. So we can use. So we also need a text editor. I mean, it could be anything. It could be Visual Studio Code. It could be Atom. It could be Vim if you're crazy enough. But I would use Notepad++. Maybe it's because I'm used to it. You know. And yeah, this is my go-to notepad for basically editing and writing down code. Right, next is the actual wrapper. Well, actually, no, next is the interpreter. So we should download the actual PlayStation interpreter, Lua interpreter, so we can actually write Lua code on the system. We actually write and run Lua code in games on the PSP with one Lua interpreter. That's basically it. So yeah, just download it from here and then add it to wherever. Oh, you have to add it in PPSSPP, but we can easily redirect it from there. Yeah. Extract all. Here. Yeah, and you see this is the main eboot.pbp where we need to get Lua PPSSP onto. So basically what we do is load into the emulator. Yeah, I believe it wasn't documented, it was desktop. And here you get the actual PSP environment of one Lua, of the one Lua interpreter, so you can actually see the display basically on what runs and what doesn't. So obviously, it's a 3D example. You can actually see the 3D models that one Lua can generate. But we won't focus on that. That's too advanced. We'll be focusing on the Love2D wrapper, so it's much more simpler to implement. It's 2D, you know. Right, I'll just close that. Now we need to get the Love wrap Lua. So just go to GitHub page, ZGD, Love wrap Lua, and download the zip. I've already downloaded it, so it's fine. Just go to Love2D. You should see it here, right? So when it comes to one Lua, you have to use script.lua for running the games, right? So that's basically how the games run, because it's basically it's like how Love2D has main.lua. In this case, one Lua interpreter made script.lua v main.lua. But we do have a main.lua. It's in the game folder. So this is where your game actually runs. but we'll talk more on that later. So right now, all you need to do is that, remember that eboot.pbp file, very important file. All you need to do is just move it or copy it or whatever you want in here, right? So we'll get the script.lua file from in this section, so it'll actually run the files here, which is actually calling the game function here. So it's basically, this is our environment to make it much more, I guess I said, much more simpler than, let's say, the whole other environment that's made in one Lua. So we just focus on this when it comes to coding now. This and the Love2D documentation, obviously. But yeah, let's first test it out with PPSSPP, our PLA station emulator. Right here. Oh wait, sorry. So this is a Love2D caps of this. So remember this. Let's skip that. This is the same one in here. Oh dear me. What's up with this? Alright, hold on. Script.lua. Everything seems alright. Right. I need this as well. So with the PPSSPP has some issues with the font. You have to add this one font.pgf as well. That's right. Alright, it's better work now then. Browse, load, Love2D, yep. Set new font in L value. Okay. Hold on. So this is why you need Notepad++. If you want to edit, you can edit from here. It's not going to be an issue with the font, so let's just turn off that temporarily with this. Right, so now we just add save. Now we just test it out again. There we go. Right, yeah, it was an issue with the font. Bloody Lua. But yeah, there we got it running. No game, as it says. No game, because there is no game. We have to make it our own here. Yeah, so this is our environment. If we upload it to the PSP, it should also show the same thing. Maybe with a different, like, screen res and all that, but this is the environment the default environment we have. So, and this is where we're going to start developing in our main.lua file. And that's it. That's all you need. All you need is a text editor, PPSSPP, the interpreter, the one Lua interpreter, and well, yeah, the wrapper, the Love2D wrapper, and that's it. It's all this for these four things. It's basically trying to keep it as simple as possible. Right, here's one more thing. So we're going to start testing the actual PSP boot image we've created in we've shown in PPSSPP in our actual PSP system, or PS Vita, with Adrenaline. So we'll start by finding the directory where all the PSP games should be in. The homebrew gigs, to be precise. File, and now it should actually be able to run on the actual PSP system. So we'll go take a look at that. Here's our actual PS Vita. Go up to Adrenaline. Sony Computer Entertainment. This might take a while. Yep, this should be it. This should be the Love2D game. Now it should be able to run on actual hardware. There it is. Okay, it might be a bit glitchy. That's probably because of the screen, the image that popped up. But all in all, it does work. And it's right here. Right, so next tutorial will probably be actually coding and learning some simple Lua commands and probably making our first game. Nothing too big, something to really show off the ropes of Lua and how Lua is a very capable language for making games, and it's a very simple language with its simple syntax and all that. So yeah, hope to see you in the next video, and please do subscribe. Cheers.